computer. Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I'm gonna pin myself. All right. Welcome. Welcome channel panel to I don't even know what number we're on. 16, 17. Something like don't even know, but it's a lot of them. And it's been awesome. Pardon me. And we're gonna get more and more specific about what it is that we're really here to do and what it is that is really happening here, because it's really amazing and it's really magical, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Magic and the magical personality. It's really magical, and I want everyone to have the opportunity to see the magic of that. And so we're going to do it a little bit differently tonight. We're still going to do our introductions and go around. But before we do that, we're going to dig into what's actually happening here. I'm going to read some testimonials to you. We're going to share some clips, and then I very much look forward to hearing anybody's homework that has it, anybody that had a conversation with higher self and transcribed it. Very much look forward to that tonight. And I want you all to be ready and willing to acknowledge the magic of what's really happening, because if you don't acknowledge the magic as it happens, it often slips away, right? If you don't acknowledge the magic as it happens, it often slips away. And we all do it. We all do it. And every moment we're losing track of ourselves, we're losing time, we're losing our lives to apps, to swiping, to trying to achieve some imaginary goal we can't even express to a friend that asks us what we really want in life. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that. Let's not miss the magic of what's happening to us all the time. Please, dear God, let's not miss it. And I want to talk about it really openly and honestly tonight. And I'm going to share the magic that you all are experiencing through yourselves. And we're going to have more space to share. And I want each and every one of you to understand that the this is magic. Every piece of what's going to happen tonight. We're 5 minutes in. Every piece of what's going to happen tonight is magic, and I don't want you to miss any of it. And if you can stay present for it, then you might not miss the magic that happens every single day in your life. Do you understand? You might not miss the magic that happens every single day in your life. And part of the clarity of tonight, of this message, is the beauty of the live stream and what happens when I let my soul share itself openly every day in public. And I see the clarity of who I am and what I'm doing deeper and deeper. And it's really fucking beautiful. And I really appreciate about half of the channel panel is there every day on the live streams. And I love that you guys are there to witness this process, because this is the enactment of it. This is the enactment of the process that you're learning is my life and the work that is coming through me. And the work that is coming through me, the only purpose of it is to help whatever's coming through you. It's the only purpose of it. The work that is coming through me is only here to help the work that is coming through you. And this week on the live stream, we've been reading The Vortex, Abraham Hicks, The Law of Attraction, and she's a multi-millionaire because she channels her higher self. She calls it Abraham. Doesn't matter what you call your higher self. She calls it Abraham. And she learned how to channel from Seth Speaks, the book Seth Speaks. I've talked to y'all about that a lot. And I was on stage with her. And when I was on stage, what I wanted more than anything was to be a law of attraction disciple. I wanted to help them. I was a filmmaker. I wanted to tell them stories about what she's doing, about her husband, about like the law of attraction. I wanted to be a disciple. And Abraham, to my face, told me, "You're a teacher through and through. You're already doing it. You don't need us." And because they wouldn't give me what I wanted, which was just someone else's path to copy, that's what I wanted, was just let me copy some shit. I like copying. My first job was a clown. That's just a funny mime. I like copying things. Give me something to copy. They said you don't need us. They said you're a teacher. You're already doing it. Do it. And so I did. And I started communicating with my own guides, and they helped me communicate with my higher self. And that's what I'm helping y'all do right now. And the value of it is immeasurable. I hope y'all see it. I hope y'all can feel it. We're going to demonstrate it in the next few minutes as I reflect y'all back to you. I hope you can feel it. And it would not be happening the way that it's happening right now in this group if I was just regurgitating Esther Hicks to y'all. If Abraham had let me be a disciple and just teach their shit, what's happening with all of us would not be happening right now. Do you understand that? And that's the power and the beauty of what's happening in the ascension, is it's not about dogma. It's not about memorizing shit anymore, y'all. It's not about you learning how to mirror someone else's philosophy. It's about the fact that we're all connected to source. It's about the fact that we're all connected to source, and each of us has a particular perspective of that source. Each of us has a particular perspective of that source. And we're going to dig into those perspectives tonight, y'all. And there's no such thing as a wrong one. There's no such thing as a false perspective. You can lie all you want to, but you're revealing the truth of your own perspective when you lie. You understand? There's no such thing as a false perspective. Every perspective is true from that perspective. And if you can understand that, you'll stop worrying about what you think is true, or am I connected to this or that, or do I give it this name, or is it? None of that shit matters, y'all. None of that shit matters. What matters is, are you building a relationship with your inner universe? That's what matters. Are you giving it attention, number one? Are you giving your inner universe attention? Are you bringing genuine intentions and genuine questions? Are you allowing yourselves the patience to really listen, like the belief that you can receive the wisdom that you're asking for? And then are you willing to track the wisdom that you receive? Are you willing to record it? Are you willing to write it down? Because if not, it dissolves into nothingness. It dissolves like every dream you have. And every dream you have is fucking magic. Nobody can explain how you dream. but we all do it. And they can be so powerful that we have climaxes in our sleep. Nobody can explain how it happens, but you do it. And then, fifth, we have to be willing to share the relationship, the wisdom, the exchange. We have to be willing to share the exchange with others. Now, that's 5 really clear steps. And if you ask me tomorrow what they were, I'm not going to fucking know, because that's what came through right now is those 5 fucking steps. And if I don't try and keep track of this shit, if I don't take the time to transcribe it, then it's lost forever. But those 5 steps are very clear right now. And the point of this group is not for y'all to remember my 5 steps or my this or my that. The point is for y'all to remember you have the same connection. You have the same wisdom. And if you can cultivate that relationship, give that inner part of you the same attention you would give to a child or a pet or a fictitious character in a story you were writing. Like if you can give your inner self the same energy you would give a fictitious character in a story you were writing, if you can give yourself that much energy, profound things are going to take place in that relationship, y'all. And I know you're all experiencing that at different levels. And I'm just trying to help you not overlook the power of that, the importance of that. And more importantly than the importance of whatever your relationship to your inner self means, there's a larger importance, y'all. And that's when you start sharing that relationship with others so that it affects their ability to connect with their own selves. You understand? Like activating the divine light inside of you in order to activate the divine light inside of others. So that's what's happening here. That's what the purpose of this group is about. And it's happening at different levels for all of you. And it's amazing. And I don't know how much you are each appreciating that for yourselves. I feel you each appreciating it for each other, which is cool. I feel you each appreciating the leaps and bounds for each other. I don't know how much you're appreciating that for yourselves. And I don't know how much you guys are actually practicing on your own on a daily basis. But I trust that everybody's getting whatever they need to. And all I do is show up and try and offer. What I now see very clearly is just exercises in collective consciousness. That's all we're really doing here. It's exercises in collective consciousness. And if you did not get a chance to do your homework, you'll have the option to do it with us here tonight. I did not do our homework in a canned sense of recording and transcribing, and I kept expecting to, and I kept not. And then I realized I was going to do my homework here live, and you're welcome to do your homework here live if you didn't have a chance to, but you see the value of the invitation, the value of the invitation. So we're going to deepen this game, and we're going to change the structure tonight before we go around and do our shares. I'm going to share some of y'all with y'all first, and I would like you to really feel. I would like you to hold space for what is happening to the group individually, and then to like begin to see that no matter what is happening, no matter what is happening to us individually, the potential for what we can accomplish together is beyond measure. I don't want anyone to overlook the potentiality of that. Okay. So we're going to do some reflection first, and then we'll have time for introductions, and then we'll have time to share homework, and then we'll have time for the magic that we're going to cover tonight. We're going to deal with the magical personality, and we're going to look at Ra's perspective of it, and we're going to see how we're all beginning to tap into that. Um, all right, so let me start. Let me start with, I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing I want to share is this is a channel by the council, right? We're all here. It's the council's Council of One channeling, group or whatever. Um, everybody in this group found me through TikTok, and most everybody on TikTok has seen me channel the Council of One at some point. And I wanted to share this with you all. Number one, to show that however you think your connection is going to come through you, is going to be shared with the world, is not necessarily how it's going to be shared. And most of you that's witnessed the council has seen me do it live. It's very slow, and my eyes are closed. And it feels very like out there and ethereal and like whatever. But what I'm going to share with you is one of the experiments. I've done a lot of experiments. It's one of the experiments I did where I tested what would happen if I used the council's message as a script that I just did on a TikTok video, just like it was a normal video, just like it was me. And I want y'all to pay attention to the feeling of this. It's the same content of the council, but it's presented in a much different light. And all I did was I took the script, I took the text of the council that I transcribed, and I put it into a whatever you call it, an app that's like a teleprompter app, and then I read it. I read it off the screen. So notice how this comes off, and then notice the quality, like the volume, like what I'm talking about here is light code, so this will be helpful to you to understand what's happening. But the main reason I wanted y'all to see this is to see that whatever is coming through you can be repurposed, can be repositioned in any number of ways. Here's the example. Hello, wonderful person. Have you heard of light codes? Light codes are the very nature of your reality. Light codes make the entire simulation possible. Light codes are multi-dimensional packets of information contained inside of every point in time and space. As above, so below. As every strand of DNA in your body contains all the information for your entire body. Each particle of time and space contains the information of all time and space. What we call light codes are the packets of information themselves, but also the flow of communication of these packets from one place to another, which we frequently call downloads. Much as computers can download apps, consciousness can download applications, abilities, possibilities, and probabilities from the universe itself. Light codes are a language of frequency between each being and their source. Light codes come in every shape and size and form, while at the same time having no shape or size or form. Light codes are dormant packets of possibility, which can be unlocked through one's own attention and through one's own expression. These light codes can be unlocked through meditation. They can be unlocked through sound. They can be unlocked through movement, art, music, reading, daydreaming, sexuality, platonic intimacy, and even regular human communication. But it's very important to understand that light codes and light language are not a language in the way that you think of languages. Light codes are not based on discrete symbols or syntax of order. Light language is not dependent on sequential time. Light language is not dependent on cultural exposure.
Light language is made of multidimensional layers of encapsulated meaning, and this meaning must be read and translated originally by each individual entity. When you hear someone speak in light language, or what you might call tongues or gibberish, don't seek to understand it literally. The sounds you're hearing do not represent words, they represent frequencies. They represent memories and colors and emotions and states of being. These things cannot be easily translated into symbolic packages, but these experiences can be activated within yourself with nothing more than your intention and your expression. Just like with a computer, you must intentionally connect to a larger source of information. Once you're connected, you can download an infinite variety of feelings and experiences. What's important to understand about light codes is the possibilities they represent are quite literally beyond your imagination. We are all limited by the concept of time and space in ways we do not perceive, and light codes can help us begin to perceive some of the possibilities and probabilities we've likely been missing. Light codes are a portal which can open a doorway into other dimensions of experience, and these dimensions are equally as real and valid as your own. If you're interested in activating your own personal light codes, I'd love to invite you to join us on our live light code activation ceremony Sunday night, August 20th, 8 to.
Okay, so I literally used a Council of One channeling as a promo piece for a fucking workshop. You understand? And that's not how the council comes through me, but that was me presenting it like a normal human so that maybe normal humans would pay attention. And I love it. I love it. And I've done more experimentation with it, but I still have more to go. So by that, I want you to understand that whatever is coming through you can take any number of shapes. Don't believe that you have to speak it the way that it's going to be presented the first time. Like that's not what we're doing here. Okay. And we're going to deepen this scenario. I'm going to share a homework piece that Coretta shared. I was going to share this last week, but we didn't have time. And I'm not showing the video because I don't even know if she's watched it. I don't even know if she watched the video. But at one point, it was like almost going up her skirt. Like, and then she didn't need
I
to.
was hoping
She
you
didn't
didn't
need
see
to
that.
'cause-
I said, Sante gonna think I'm flashing him or
yeah.
something. No, I just flash you. I was just the
It's
phone
like
had dropped on the floor or something, y'all. I don't
it,
know.
it's like right on the edge of like if she had an OnlyFans, she would have had people clicking and signing up. Like that shit was right under, and you can see the whole room upside down. And like she's not trying to be, whatever. She's in another room. You can hear it. So I'm not going to show the video. Y'all don't need to see the video. And there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there that would get her in trouble. But
No.
but the point is the sound of what's
I
happening.
wasn't Janet Jackson either, y'all. It wasn't Janet
Yeah,
Jackson. I
she
didn't do a
wasn't
flip.
Janet Jackson letting it pop out during the Super Bowl. Not at all. But I love the boldness of you being willing to do the assignment, dear, and thank you for figuring out how to share it with me. And I want y'all to
Yeah, I just want to learn.
I want
I'm
y'all
sorry.
to close your eyes and I want y'all to listen to her experience because I believe this was her doing the assignment for pep talk and she never gets to pep talk, but she didn't need a pep talk because she experienced what she needed to with her light codes.
Like,
Her light codes. She was willing to do what the last video was talking about. This is one of you doing that, and I want you to fully appreciate it. Okay, so close your eyes and listen.
Hear your grandma.
Oh, oh, oh. Hala, hala tia,
Ola pekia tia tio pokoa. Pokatia ma. Pokatia matio la tia tio. Ola patika patio la. Ola patio kiti. Tipia patapa. Tipita patapa. Tonto. Mira pakata patio la pa. Ya. Oh. Hola. Hola patia. Taya tia papa. Hola pakata pia pio. Kakapata. To. To. Tapata kapata. Tapata pizza poa. Lila. Tia pocola. Hola pakakia. Pa. 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 Lila pakatia. Hola pakatia balala ba. Tia. Tia. Hola pakata pekio. Topata patio tapia. Oh, patia, tia, patia. Hola, patia. Hola, hola, patia. Hola, la patia. Ya patia, ya patia. Hola, patia, kapati. Ita patia. Oh, oh, hola, patia. Hola, patia. Oh, hola. Oh, oh, hola, patia. Hola, hola, ala. Hola, capatia. No, topolila. Hola, patica. Ah, ah, oh, hola, la tía. Oh, hola, la patía. Hola, la patía, Eloría. Oh, la patía. Oh, Hola, Patia. Hola. Patia. Hola, hola, patia, hola, patia, tiro. Hola, patia, kia, patia, hola, patia, hola. Oh, la, petita, pica, pica, toca, pati, ti, pola, ti. Oh, patia, capati, tiola. Oh,
Dear God. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I got some fucking feels.
That's heavy.
I got some fucking feels. Woo! Are you there, Coretta? Can you talk with us about what happened to you during that homework assignment there? Can you talk with us about what happened to you?
It still makes me cry. I just went in. I woke up one morning. I was heavy, just felt heavy, and I just had to say something. And I just thought about y'all, and I started speaking my light language, and it just wouldn't stop. And I don't know who the hell Lapatia is, but if
Mm-hmm.
it's a person, I'm hoping she feeling good. I gave her some kind of healing because I was really praying for her or something.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying it was her. I was like, I don't know who she is or what she is inside me, but she was coming out, and it was amazing, and I felt so good. My granddaughter, she in the car with me now because we just had to pull over, but she came to my door and knocked on my door to see if I was okay because I was so loud. Like I really got into it, and it just felt so freeing. I thought Emmy was gonna be on here so she could hear too. So I mean, that was amazing. I that was some real stuff. I don't know where it came from, and I'll share this with y'all because I'm sorry for coming in late. Um, uh, my best friend's birthday was the other day, and I sent her a birthday song. You know, I sung "Happy Birthday" on her voicemail because she didn't answer, and I've never gotten a response from anybody me singing because it's always a funny sing. You know, I'm playing or whatever. She texted me back. She was like, "Sister, I didn't know you could sing." So I don't know where this is coming from, but my vocals were really good there. And I even noticed, I was like, oh, wow, I held that note really long. I remember thinking that to myself when I was doing it after I did it. And then with her saying it, that was validation. But y'all, yesterday, my daughter is in Louisiana still, and I'm here in California. My youngest daughter, she just had a baby, and motherhood is so overwhelming, you know, like, of course, for new mothers, it is for everybody. And she called me yesterday in such a panic, and she was having a panic attack. And I've had those before, you know, all through my journey or whatever. And I knew what was going on. She was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. She was driving, had my grandson in the back seat, and I made her pull over. I had to calm her. I kept telling her to do deep breaths. And y'all, she just could not calm down. I was like, call 911 because she couldn't breathe. She literally couldn't stop herself from crying and just over, she was hyperventilating everything. Y'all, all of a sudden I said, oh, I just start speaking, and I start speaking and speaking, and the child just stopped all of a sudden and busted out laughing at me. I was crying. I felt I couldn't get on a plane to get 2,000 miles away. I ran outside to my patio and I was throwing my hands up, and I started just, it was nothing but light language just coming out, coming out, coming out. And it made her instantly stop. I was like, what the hell are you doing? She was laughing and babe, it was a miracle. I swear, I couldn't wait to come today to tell y'all that. That happened last night. She just was so happy after that. And I said, I'm making you an appointment with SciTech. I don't give a damn what you say. I'm going to pay for the session, but I feel amazing. I was like her just some months ago. And I'd be damned if I want my child to experience all that I experienced. So we're going to stop that as of now. And I said, it did. It instantly made her stop. Y'all, she had to pull over. I wanted to call now. I said, call 911. My child can't breathe. It was a mess. It was a mess. And all of a sudden, my body just took over. Lapatia, whoever her hell she is, took over, and I got my baby out of that. I swear, I got her out of that.
Oh my God.
That's all I got to say. All right. I know I took y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Mama,
Thank you.
write a song. We're going to write a I Love Us song. They know. We need to write a song. Heather, Chris, all y'all need to put together. We need to write a song. I Love Us. We need a theme song.
It's coming. It's
I
coming.
know.
The channel panel theme song. It's coming.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. That's ridiculous
Yes.
and amazing. And this is the proof in the
We're magic.
This is the proof in the pudding, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. This is what is happening underneath the surface for everyone that's willing to dance with the divinity of themselves. That's what we're inviting here. And thank you for demonstrating it. And it doesn't matter what the fuck La Patia is. This is some important shit for you. And I could feel it. And it changed your daughter's fucking state. So that's a perfect example of it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Marvelous. What's up?
um when I when you were playing the recording, I have this visual of a lot of women like up in the mountain in the dark. There's like no physical lights. We're just performing some ritual, and we're sitting in a circle, and there's a fire in the middle, and then you're singing and speaking light language, and you're outside of the circle doing a dance, singing these words, speaking these words. Then you get in the fire, and we continue to do like a movement like that around the fire in a circle. All the people in the circle are touching, and you're like right in the middle, jumping in the middle of the fire, and then you become the fire, and then I get in the fire with you, and then we come out of the fire. But I mean, I come out first, then you stay a little longer, and then you kind of fly like the phoenix. As you were singing, saying those words, those were the images that came to my mind. It was beautiful. And then I started speaking light language over here. But I didn't want to turn on the mic, you know, but it was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And then, you know, La Patia, maybe your higher self name, because we do have names, you know, there are dimensions. So maybe that's something you might want to meditate on.
Yeah.
What?
Don't jump to
You know what? I
conclusions.
just was
I'm not
Right,
jumping
but
to
I was-
conclusions, but it's just a question you might want to ask that question, you know,
right.
Right.
because you will get the answer, right?
Well, guess what?
What does
Guess
this
what?
mean?
I actually have because I love Satek's name so much.
Oh, hold on, Coretta. You're buffering.
My
Hold on 1 second. We can't hear you, and we want to hear you. Can you say that
Okay.
again?
Is that better? Is that better?
You're still dragging a little bit. It
Let's see.
seems like you're good now. Tell us that again.
I said, okay. I said, before that, I had been asking my panel, uh, to help me find a new name because I like Satek's name so much. I want to have I guess a new name for myself with this new feelings that I'm having. And I had said I feel enlightened, so I was like the enlightened one. And so I was just playing around with little names. And so I have been asking for that since you said that. So you never know. I don't know, but she was heavy that day. She was coming out. Yeah,
Nice.
that was nice.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for that idea there, Marvelous. And thank you for the feedback on what you saw. Does anybody else have feedback for Coretta's very, very deep, very vulnerable share?
I was hot. That's because Marvelous was in the fire doing the ritual. So I'm like,
Yeah.
whew, whew.
You hot.
Yeah, it was very powerful. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I want to learn the rest like y'all, though. I want to be able to just transcribe it. Yeah, I'm working on that.
It's everybody's at the space they're at, y'all, and we got to just accept it and revel in it and share it. And it's really beautiful to witness everybody at their own levels. It's amazing, and it was really, really, I don't know, humbling to me. Some of y'all were there this week as I was reading The Vortex. And this is a book written by a multi-millionaire, and she's been channeling for 30, 40 years. My mother was listening to this woman's tapes when I was a teenager, and I was on stage with this woman talking to her higher self, talking to her being, and really wanting to be the disciple. Just let me teach what you're doing. And they were like, we don't need you. And you don't need us. You're here to do your thing. Do your thing. And it's been one of the most important things in my life to be like, fuck you then. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you then. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this shit on my own. And I have. And to see the beauty of what has happened because of me being willing to trust their guidance and not being willing to be like, I'm pathetic and I really need you. The beauty of that has been unexplainable, and to witness what has come through me, which is like this group is the newest version of what is coming through me. And it's not about y'all memorizing what the council is teaching. It's not about y'all becoming disciples of the council. It's about y'all understanding that you're connected to source too. And all you have to do is create the time and space to build that fucking relationship. That's all you have to do. And that's all we're here to invite you to, is to build that space in your life. And we're going to offer you countless ways of doing it. And every single homework assignment is just an opportunity to do that. Don't give yourself any pressure. Don't feel like you got to impress us. Nobody's getting a grade from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Let yourself relate to yourself as best you can in every single moment. And so it's been really amazing to witness this book, and me seeing clearly. I'm reading this book and I'm like, this is so good. But these are not the words I would use to talk about any of this shit. These words that Abraham was using 20, 30 years ago, these are not the words I would use to talk about any of this shit. And what's happening with all of you inside of yourselves is above and beyond anything that was happening to people listening to the law of attraction 30 years ago. There's a different level in relationship of connection. And that's the value of trusting our own perception, is that we're always upgrading, y'all. And the council is not the end all be all of perception. They just have a really good fucking vibe, you know? And the importance of what they're trying to offer is not you memorizing what they're teaching. It's them trying to offer you the same relationship that I've developed with them. That's it. It's them trying to offer you the same relationship that I've developed with them, which is the same relationship Esther developed with Abraham. You understand? And she's a multimillionaire. It's the same relationship that Jane Roberts developed with Seth. She didn't know multimedia, or like the time was different. She wasn't able to become a multimillionaire from it. But many, many people in our day and age are becoming multimillionaires from sharing this deeply vulnerable and personal relationship inside of yourself with others. Okay. And so that's all we're here to do. And we're going to do that in a whole lot of different ways. And, you know, we're a good ways in. We're going to do our introductions, our go around in just a second. But before we do, I want to read some of your feedback and testimonial, because I asked for feed. I'm so bad about this shit, y'all. I'm so bad about keeping track of stuff and like whatever. But I asked about feedback on a live stream recently, and people started dropping comments in, and I want to read some of them to you so you can feel what's happening. I don't want y'all to like overlook the power of what's happening. So I was asking, like, what's happening to y'all in channel panel? And Bridget said, peace, love, and self-appreciation. Twin Mama said, it has opened up my third eye, released tension, opened up my heart again to receive messages. Hold on, sorry, y'all. Open up my heart again to receive messages. Amazing. Bridget said released anxiety and it's allowed her to control her emotions. Pinky Silver said from the two feelings, love and fear, feeling better and feeling worse. She said, from the two feelings, I now quickly choose the love path, and this floating down the river with my guides make all good. Twin Mama said, it has quieted the fear I was living with from my life, and my anxiety has melted. My anxiety flare ups are less and less. Coretta said, I have found freedom in myself. Miracles have happened. I have released a lot of stress. Hashtag I love us. Heather said, it's super interesting to be in the panel. I'm discovering more than I realized was possible for me. Marvelous said, I've learned to allow the channel to come through in this vessel of many voices, many guides, to step into the oracle archetype and the goddess energy that I bring to earth. And then Twin Mama talked about the grief of losing her dad and how it's been less and less. So super magic, right, y'all? Like super magic is happening on every level. And I hope y'all can all see it. And I hope you like respect it. And I hope you continue to give it your energy, because giving it your energy is what is creating the magic. And we're going to talk about the magic tonight. And I'm gonna go pee before we do. I'm gonna go pee. Y'all can unmute yourself and chit chat, and then we'll do our go around everybody, and then we'll start the actual session. I'll be right back.
Wait, what book are we reading from tonight?
Concept guide. We're doing magic and magical personality.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
We never really get to talk, huh? Hi.
Wonderful what
Right.
you did. That was amazing.
Huh?
What you did was amazing.
I
Your
don't
whole
know what it was. I don't know what I did. It just came out.
felt it a lot
Oh.
right in my chest. It was so heavy. I started tears running down my eyes.
Oh, no. Well, I hope that was a good heavy. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
The
What
release
you
of
think?
I think.
Huh? The releasing of it?
Release something, I think.
Yes, yes. I just opened my mouth. I don't know what happened that day. I just got up and I just had to let it out. And I
It's
was from
beautiful
my,
to surrender, you know?
yeah. Is
So
that what
you
it is?
trust it. Yeah, you surrender. You surrender to yourself, right?
Oh.
Because ain't nobody
Mhm.
else there but you.
Right, right. And I wasn't putting
So
on, but I thought about it. I was like, let me record this. Let me record this. And I just
yeah,
did. Surrender to
should do it.
myself.
We should do a Zoom tea and chat and tea, right? Like
Chat and tea. Yep, we could now. We sure could. Or
tea
chat and
chat,
sip.
tea chat.
Right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Awesome,
How are you,
awesome.
Heather?
Hmm?
How are you?
Who? I don't
Heather,
know
how
who.
are you?
Oh,
I'm
Heather.
good.
I didn't know who he said.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, how you good? It's like, yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Like I could have pretended really well, but I wouldn't have heard a damn word y'all said. So we're all good now. I can focus. Let's start by doing our rounds, introductions, and I want you to really like feel the gravity of everything we've talked about this evening and let yourself be as real and as open, as authentic as you have ever before. And then just trust that this night is going to be crazy and magical, and then it will be. Okay. Marvelous, can you start by telling us anything that you can about your homework, your practice, or anything about your life that happened this week?
I've been a little disconnected from the practice. not as I was doing every day. So I'm recalibrating to like find a different path or a different way to stay in the rhythm of connecting, right? Normally connecting now when I'm driving, it's beautiful, right? But then I don't got time to write the messages. But you know, I'm always connected. I know that for sure. It doesn't stop, and the messages that keep coming through specifically are those, in terms of there's not one point or breath where I'm not connected, right? Everyone is. Been purging. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Purging some of the pain of the people of this earth. I can feel something big is coming. I can feel the agony. I can feel it's gonna be terrible for some people. So I've been purging, connecting to Mother Mary and loving these tears and loving what is, allowing myself to cry the tears of others. I will take it. I will do it. So that's been, you know, these past few days, but it was really intense today. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, dear. Thank you for the vulnerability and authenticity of that. That's beautiful. And nobody practices anything at the level that they want to, y'all. We have to just do the best we can, and we're always recalibrating, and we have to just accept where we're at in the process. Thank you very much, dear. We love you. And thank you for being willing to cry the tears of the world. That's Christ-like shit. Thank you. Bridget, tell us anything you can about your homework, your practice, or your life this week.
Well, this week was interrupted my meditation plans. My husband and son went off to Hawaii, and I ended up getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to work at his buildings and then come home. And then by then I was just so exhausted trying to get everything done around the house. And, you know, I fell asleep several times during the day. So part of it, I think, was the full moon and a mixture of other things. I've been reading the Sophia Code, so I think I've got some downloads going on because I'm just exhausted and I am buzzing all the time. And things pop into my head and I'm like, oh, I got to write that down. And I don't have a pen or paper to write it down on. And then it's like, it's gone. And then I can't retrieve whatever it was. But I did do the assignment that you asked us to do. You want me to read the whole thing, how I wrote it out?
Sure.
Okay, so September 25th, this is last night at 10:16 p.m. I started with shamanic sounds, the ohms, and then singing light language. I've been trying to work on singing light language and doing mudras at the same time. Followed with the breath work, moving the ball of light up my chakras on the inhale, down on the exhale, and I did it all the way through to the universe. I called upon my highest self. I said, what do I need to open the rose in my heart? And then I asked again, what do I need to open the rose in my heart? There's spaces. It's not showing it on this, but I tried to put gaps where there were large, you know, I have large silences in between my things. That so I'll sit there for a long time. Where was I? When I first asked the question about the rose in my heart the first time, I felt something big coming down into my crown. And then the left side of my brain started to pulse. And then my left temple was pulsing a lot. And then I asked, what does the pulsing on my left temple mean? I was waiting for an answer. And so I started running my crystals up and down my chakras. As I raised it up to hit the eighth, is it the eighth chakra? And bring it back down. I said, whoa, I pointed the crystal towards my eighth chakra, and more sensation came from above down into my crown. And then I rested my crystals in my lap, holding them as close as I could. I'm focused on an orgonite pyramid with a spiral copper wire in it. How do I open the rose of my heart? Or is it already open? And this is what I heard. Yes, it is opening. Continue to focus, continue to meditate. Try other forms of breathing. Remember your movement in Qigong. I've kind of gotten away from that because things have been busy. And rebounding, which is the only thing I've gotten in. And continue to stretch and flow. The movement releases stuck energy. And then I said, I'm feeling sensation on the frontal side, on the left side of my frontal lobe. What does that mean? The response was, you are still downloading codes. What type of breath work should I do? And they said, breath with fire. And I said, I think I've heard of it. I'll have to look it up. Then there was a lot of silence. So I just started talking. I started imagining a rose in my heart that was opening all of its petals into a beautiful rose. And the rose was white. Then I asked, can you tell me who I was in one of my past lives? The response I heard was, you are not ready to know yet. And then more time passed. And then I ended up saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for communicating with me. Thank you for the rose of my heart for opening. Thank you for all the guiding and teaching me. And then I was very dizzy. And then I said, now, and my hands are very hot. And then I said, it's 10:37 p.m. So that was over, what, 20 minutes? That's the end of that one.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope y'all can feel the importance of the relationship that's developing here. And I hope you can feel it, Bridget.
Oh, I am. I'm very understanding, and I'm going more and more inside. Sometimes I'm doing it when I'm out, which is probably not a good idea. It's like happening while I'm driving.
Yeah,
So-
that's not a good idea.
Something I necessarily control. I feel like things are happening. Like my crown starts like vibrating or opening, and it's like, okay. So, you know, it's, yeah, it's learning how to control, and hopefully I'm not behind the wheel.
Yes, you have to learn how to control. That's a part of the journey, y'all, is learning how to control it. You can't let celestial ecstasy be flowing through you and still talk to the teller at the bank. Like totally. Totally. Awesome. Thank you very much. Kristen, can you tell us anything you can about the homework, your practice, or your life the past week?
Sure. What happened this week? Blink and done. With the full moon, lunar supermoon eclipse, that has been potent energy working with that. It's been affecting my cats. They're going batshit crazy over here. And they're very sensitive to energy as well. Let's see. What's worth sharing? Friday, I tried going into channeling state and I made the intention of doing so, and it was just silent. And I've never experienced that before. Usually when I go in, like, all right, we're going to do some work, it was silent. And I was like, okay, this is new. And I surrendered to whatever was coming through. So instead I was shown how money can be a stressor for me. And it was presented as a cement blanket. And I was shown that even though it's on my heart, it affects every part of my body. And then I think it was a guide that came through and like, stop believing that. Like, you are abundant, money will flow to you. Everything is fine, you just have to trust. And slowly I began to break away the cement blanket in that space. And then before class, I went into a channel state and I did something new for the first time, and that I used a mantra, I guess, that I've never worked with before. And I forgot where I just discovered it. And it was, I release all energies that is not mine. I'm a channel for love and light messages. And I repeated that 2 or 3 times. And then I had asked about the ascension symptoms. And at the end of that, the sign off was feeling different than I've ever felt before. And that's when it came out as like the galactic, I think they said confederation, but at that point I was like, wait, what are they saying? I was like, no, this can't be. So then I start thinking about what's coming through. So I think it was the Galactic Federation of light workers, or light seed or star seeds that were coming through. I started transcribing it, but it doesn't have the grammar or anything like that, you know, like your punctuation, what have you. Yeah, I'll just say this, that light language is just not truly my pathway for me, and I've accepted that. I'm not resisting the light language, because if I was resisting a big no, I'm not doing this. It's just something that doesn't fully activate me in the way that it activates others. Sounds activate me more, and breath work. So I think I'm gonna be focusing more on that as far as my daily ritual.
Awesome. Thank you. And they did call it the Confederation. The Galactic Confederation is the group of conscious beings that are supposedly over our solar system and protect Earth based on Ra. I love
Okay.
that. I love that.
My channel felt very different too. Like, it was very slow and choppy,
mhm,
like how Ra was transcribed, which I was
mhm.
surprised. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So if you have any feedback, because I think I've been channeling higher self up to this point, or with my guides, and I've never connected with in a group like that. And if you have any suggestions for safety, you know, just keeping our beings safe while we're doing this work is always appreciated.
Yes, the safety is your sacred space that we discussed in the very beginning and we trained you on really specifically, is to always go to your sacred space. That's the safety. And just connect with whatever you can, you know, connect with whatever you can, and then figure out the vibe and the frequency later, you know, like nothing's gonna steal your soul. Connect with whatever you can and know that what you connect with is always going to be directly connected to your intention. It's always directly connected to your intention. Your intention is determining your frequency, and your ability to practice or not practice determines your ability to connect, determines your ability to interpret, determines your ability to conduct. It determines your ability to everything. And nobody needs you to connect at any level beyond wherever you're willing to connect any given day. So always accept wherever you're at, and always accept that you determine how connected you are to your own process, your own soul, your own purpose, your own source, like whatever it is, it's always about you. And accept wherever you're at. And if there's anything that this group is really, really, really desiring of, it's to encourage the sharing of those connections. to encourage the sharing of what you discover inside of yourself, because that thing will encourage others to discover those connections inside of themselves. And there is nothing more important than any of us couldn't do with our time but to make that connection inside of ourselves. So thank you all at whatever level that you're willing and able to do that. Thank you. And thank you for sharing it. And please notice what you get out of witnessing other people share. And please be willing to notice how other people are affected by what you are willing to share. Thank you, Kristen. Heather, can you tell us anything you can about your homework, your practice, or anything this week?
This week I feel like I have been getting back to my focus ritual a little bit better. So I've been practicing more regularly this week. And I think my intention has changed a little bit over the week, but like I was trying to get back into just being able to allow whatever I do see at first. And I have done some speaking. The first speaking was about trust and choosing to trust. So I was focused on trusting and learning how to connect and stuff for part of this week. And then I did do the homework today. And so I got it. I spoke during that as well. And I started reading Seth Speaks this week, which has been really good. And I've always been kind of skeptical, and I always thought everything was, anything is possible. But I feel like reading Seth Speaks has made me feel like it's more probable, I guess, that consciousness can exist outside of a physical body. So I guess I'm opening up more to what you guys have been talking about. But anyway, so I guess I'm getting back into it this week.
Awesome. Thank you. Did you transcribe it?
I did.
Okay, beautiful. We want to hear it tonight. Kristen has a question. What's up, Kristen?
It's more of a comment. If you can listen to the audiobook of Seth Speaks, so I've done both. I've read it and listened to it, and listening activates you in a different way.
Totally.
And a lot of times I hear the narrator's voice, and Seth has come to me before, and I hear the narrator's voice with it, and it's beautiful. So yeah.
Thank you. I love it. I like both, y'all, and I have to have the book. I have to underline. I have to be able to reference, but hearing it often does hit differently. Thank you. Totally.
What is it called?
Seth Speaks.
It just that's the only title. Seth Speaks.
Called Seth Speaks.
Okay.
By Jane Roberts, and it's the book that taught Abraham Hicks how to channel, and it's the book that taught my ex-girlfriend, who's the first person I ever knew that channeled to channel, and it's the book that taught me how to channel.
Oh, okay.
And it's taught more people than any other book I've ever heard of how to channel. It's called Seth Speaks.
Okay.
It's an induction into multidimensional perception, basically. Totally. And super props for stepping up and taking the time to read that for yourself. That's amazing. I love that. It will affect you. It will affect you. And you've already got Seth in your energy. He's in the council. So yeah, it'll feel familiar. Awesome. Thank you. Coretta, can you tell us anything you can about your week, your practice, your homework, anything?
Well, I kind of told you my testimonies already about the singing and my daughter, the miracle that happened yesterday. I've been dealing with my pain issues, but it's getting a lot better. But life happens, and I've been helping people pack and go pick out a plant. I've had a lot going on this week that I normally don't do because of my condition. But I prayed about it and really been just in a good spirit and trying to uplift the people that were around me that were down. I feel so much better, y'all. I feel just this group has really helped me feel get away from my depression I was in. And the other day I felt heavy. So like Bridget was saying, the full moon, I didn't know it can do that to you. I had saw something that said there was a super moon, and I went outside and looked at it, and they said it was closer than it's ever been, like the closest one to the earth or something. And I kept feeling it's weird. Like I've suffered, I hate to even say it, with depression for over 25 years. And the other day, like for the last few days, I felt a heaviness, like trying to pull me back in there. But I recognized it, and I never recognized it before like this, and it felt different, but it felt familiar. And I kept just getting away from it. I kept pushing it away for some reason. I'd be like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not going down that road. I don't know what I would do, but I knew it was something I felt like I had to fight every day to just keep that spirit away. And I was like, this cannot come back. I've come too far. And I just kept thinking positive and going love on other people. Because when I was going through this last little bout of it, the last couple of years and my mom passed, I got away from being who I was. And I've always been this loving people person, people pleasing and all that. And I realized how bad that hurt me. But SciTech is helping me with loving myself more. I used to think I loved myself because I took good care of myself, I thought. But my daughter used to tell me I didn't, and I didn't understand that until, I met y'all. And now I do understand it. And so I'm changing those ways. And so I'm like becoming a new person, because I always was taught you couldn't be selfish. You can't be selfish. You got to give and love everybody else and treat everybody like you want to be treated. All the things that was really being a servant to others, but not to myself. And I didn't know how to do that, y'all. I didn't. I didn't. And so I thought it was all about getting me to heaven was by treating other people wonderful. And so now I'm doing more for me, and it feels wonderful. And I don't feel selfish. I don't feel like a bad person. I don't. I go get my massages. I make sure Coretta is fine. I'm doing everything possible. I'm checking off all the things that I want to do. I went camping when I know I got issues and about to have surgery, but I went anyway, just in case I don't wake up. I'll be the said I did. So I've been really, really enjoying um this new being of more happiness than and I got stuff going on in my life that's bad and big, but it's not affecting me like it used to. And so I'm very thankful for y'all for that. And y'all don't know, I guess we all sharing in this community. It's really powerful. And like I said, I guess I'm just doing good. I'm not hurting today. My neck is fine. And I've been exercising. I've been meditating every day, trying to get more into it, more into it. I'm trying to learn more and more to get deeper and stop my brain. So, yeah, I'm happy. Thank
Beautiful.
you, thank you,
Thank you. Thank you, dear. That's beautiful. All right, everybody, give yourself props for being here, for being a part of a group, for committing to do anything and just accept wherever you've been able to do it. And if you desire to do more, then just start doing more, because it's your free will. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do more, just accept that, because that's what you chose. See, you can't get away from your decision, from your choice. Okay. So just accept your choice, because that's your karma, is your choices, literally. All right. And if you accept your choice, if you accept your choice, it doesn't matter what the fuck you choose. Do you understand? If you accept your choices, it doesn't matter what you choose, because the universe is infinite. And every choice leads to truth. Every choice leads to source. Every choice leads to all that is. Okay. And so don't worry about whether you're choosing the right thing or not. Just start really focusing on accepting what you do choose. Amen. Amen. All right. So before we get into tonight's text about magic and magical personalities, I want to take a moment for anybody that did their homework. Raise your hands if you transcribed your homework. Raise your hands for me.
Oh, I did, but I read it.
Kristen's got some, Heather's got some, Marvelous has some. Okay, perfect. Let's start with Kristen. And I think you didn't finish, correct, Kristen? You've just got some of it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just read us whatever you got.
Well, 'cause it's long.
Tonight, this homework, by the way, was to have a conversation with your guides or your higher self or the hyper council, to have a back and forth conversation. This is a really important, like this is going to be the basis of your relationship. So this is a really important assignment. Thank you for anything you can share with us, Kristen.
Okay, well, I just want to preface that this is my channeling with the Galactic Confederation. That
Mhm.
wasn't any of those.
Right.
So I started with, I release all energies that are not mine. I am a clear channel for love and light. And then the question was, the human wishes to learn more about ascension symptoms. Why do some humans feel stronger ascension symptoms than others? In your terms, ascension means going into the light. Ascension is the frequencies merging back to source consciousness of unity. When someone experiences ascension symptoms, integrating into the physical body symptoms, where there is dense material in the body and should be looked at for further evaluation to process the energy in that particular area. Can I play it instead? Because I need grammar for this.
I don't know if we can hear it, and I don't know how long your recording is, but I'm keeping up with what you're reading.
Okay, because this doesn't feel like what I channeled when I listened to it.
I'm feeling it.
Okay. Areas are holding on to stuff typically are associated with stomach pains in the intestines.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
It's all right.
no, because I'm missing words to it. That's why I'm like, I don't really. Let me get back to you guys. I'm sorry. It's really choppy and I'm not comfortable presenting it.
No problem, dear. Like that's awesome. That's the beginning of something that's awesome, and you can share it in the text or the school site. I'm excited to hear it. Totally. Thank you. I love that. And you guys, like, I want y'all to all remember that, like, we're here to figure this shit out. Nobody's a professional at this shit, including me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's a professional. Let the shit come through however it is. And we'll be interested to hear it however it does come through, Kristen. I appreciate it. Who else? Marvelous, you had and you have some of yours as well, I believe.
Yes, it's on my mind. And to piggyback on when I transcribe my stuff, I don't, in the words come, they don't go to school like we do for grammar. So
Right.
it doesn't matter, it's run-on sentences,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of things. So because of my Spanglish, you know what? I'm gonna I swing with it. If you get it, you get it. The message is out there,
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel when I'm transcribing. All right, thank you for listening, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This subconscious dialogue in my mind, it is important to relate a habit of having internal and outward dialogue between my mind and the subconscious mind. The question, how do I do this? First off, the knowing that the mind is the first line where you see and notice the underlying aspects that you are identifying in order to be able to realize the subconscious messages. Asking for guidance in this area, in the knowing that we are supposed to know ourselves and try to dig deeper to understand the aspects that define us, there's a misconception in the way in which you can view who you are. For this moment in awareness and attachment to the concept that are experienced with the five senses, then there's the inner knowing. Pay attention to what you pay attention. Pay attention to what you disregard. Pay attention to the feeling. Pay attention when it flows. Pay attention when there is resistance. In all of this, there is an underlying message. Every experience is a message. How do you define it is a message? I am understanding that this is the best line for me to see the overall aspect of these conversations between the mind and the subconscious mind. I am learning to decipher myself in this inner standing. I'm paying attention to the mental, the body, and the astral experiences. In practice, this is how I'm expanding in these concepts. So there's thoughts, there's attachments, there's definitions, and there's relationship to me. And then there's a relationship to my experience. And then that's it. And then there was left-sided and ringing in my left ear. It would come strong and then it would fade away. And then there was some feeling like I'm being scanned from left to right above the head. And then above my eyes. Thank you. I mean, it sounded like a lot, but I'm still trying to decipher what it means to me, but that's how it came.
I love that. In every capacity, the connection feels very pure and very true, and very clear guidance and delineation. I love it. And whatever you haven't transcribed, you need to finish. You need to finish. I love it. Does anybody have thoughts, feedback for her?
That was great. Thank you.
Really, really beautiful. And I love hearing how specific the answers are to the questions that you all bring, because they're very much designed specifically to where you're coming from. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is tied to my mission, tied to what I'm here to do, and it's tied to what I'm here to teach others. Right? So there's definitely a guidance there for my path, right?
Amen. Amen. I love it. I love it. All right. Who else did homework? Heather, you got one? And did you transcribe everything?
I did.
Yes. Awesome. All right, give it to us.
All right. Again, I don't know. I know you told this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't know how true it is, everybody. Prepare yourself. There might be something in here that's not true.
And it's more like I was just thinking about more earthly concerns, like career change and like what do I want to do for stuff. So it's just, but
all right.
All right. So me, I asked, how do I know what work to choose that will be enjoyable and meaningful for me? And the council said, you must experiment and try many things to discover what you find enjoyable and meaningful. What you end up choosing to do with your time doesn't matter as much as simply choosing to do something. The point is not to decide on one vocation. The point is to discover your interests. Discovering your interest is the first step and the most important. Once you know what you are interested in, you will be more able to determine how to direct your time. Interests do change over time, so this discovery process is an ongoing one. The discovery process requires action. It requires you to sample a diverse array of interests. Only by actually experimenting will you be able to use your guidance system to see which interests feel most aligned with who you are and who you want to be. Interests are both inherent and chosen. Then I asked, is it possible to survive and even thrive doing what you want to do? Or do you have to do work you hate to stay alive and avoid constant survival fears? Council said, "You already know it is possible, for you can see examples even in the third dimension. A better question is, why don't you feel it is possible for you?"
Mm.
I asked, "How do I trust that it is possible for me?" Council said, "The law of attraction works for everyone, and it is egotistical to think this law does not apply to you. Your very belief that you must work hard to survive makes this the reality that you perceive, and is an example of the law of attraction at work." I asked, "How do I change this belief? How do I feel safe and secure as I attempt to give up my illusion of control?" Council said, "You must remember the higher perspective that all of this is a game that you are co-creating. Trying to control your reality with your effort is not how the game is enjoyed. Learning to control your thoughts will have a far greater effect on your reality than what you do. You are not wasting time learning to think. This step is vital in developing a more intimate relationship with yourself and in building and experiencing a life that you desire." And then my last question was, what could I create that would matter? And Council answered, "All creation is important and is the purpose for this divine play. However, for entities of positive polarity, creations of love and light can be used for the service of others and can help influence individuals to go further down this path of light. Ultimately, what matters is for you to decide. What you believe is valuable will be valuable for you."
Mm. Wow. Wow, but she's not sure if it's true or not, y'all. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if I'm connecting to shit or making stuff up. The answer is it doesn't matter. The answer is it doesn't matter. That's gorgeous fucking guidance. Like, does anybody have any thoughts, any questions, any feedback for her? Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Marvelous.
That was such a beautiful dance. That was such a beautiful dance. Like you're just good old buddies. Just you're asking the wisest person in the room, and they're giving it to you straight up. They're not pulling punches. You know,
Mhm.
what is the better question? That it is very selfish that you think you don't deserve it. How
Right,
selfish
right.
how selfish of you to think that you're
Mm.
so unique that it doesn't apply to you, that all the abundance in the world is yours, but you think you're so unique, you don't need it or you don't want it. How is that? It's like they're flipping the coin on you. You are abundance. You live in luxury in every sense of the world, and you deserve it with every breath, with every step you take. And yeah, go experiment. Have some fun figuring out what you want to do. Oh my God, how wonderful this life is, where you get to try things out. You're not stuck to one thing. Just go have some fun. Is this for me? It's just like tasting ice cream. Is that for me? I like this flavor. I like that flavor. Oh no, let me add a little sprinkle. Oh no, I think I like chocolate. You know what? Let me put some caramel. Ooh, I like some salt on top of that. Like, who would think it? Just go for it. The world is yours, babe. The world is yours. Just
Mm.
take it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Anybody else? Feedback for Heather?
I was gonna say everything that Marvelous just said. No, that I saw a white hat, like a nurse hat, for some reason, kept popping in my spirit. I saw a white hat, like the old fashioned white hats too. It was really I hadn't seen that in a long time. But the ones with the little, you know what I'm talking about? They're
Yep.
real straight arrowed kind, and with the little center part. It was a white hat with
Mhm.
a red something. I don't know. It was just a white hat with a stripe on it or something. But yeah, no, you're young, girl. Like Marvelous said, oh my God, go try everything. I got like 5 different things. I'll never be broke. I made my sure. I'm a rebel, so I didn't want to do 4 years of college. I tried one and I was over it. And I went and did different things, but I got certificates and everything, or whatever I need, license for everyone I need. And I made sure I would never be broke. Because if you tell me no, I can't come work here no more, no problem. I'm gonna go over there because I got other skills. So you still young, go try everything you can and but make sure it's something that makes you happy. Because working for years in a miserable job, that's a miserable life. So yeah,
Mhm.
I love that And I ain't had no shyness in that. What the what? You was speaking that girl. I loved it.
Amen. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Anybody else? Thoughts, feedback for Heather?
You just need to trust into yourself. When you're going inside and I mean, because what you said actually spoke to me, and I'm sure it spoke to other people here. Everybody's feeling it. So it's real. And I don't know if between the books, if you've heard the ones that he's read or if you've read any of them, but there's a lot of repetition of what we're already hearing in those books. So it's there. And the one I'm reading now is the Sophia Christ. And so when we go inside, that's why I was saying in the live that we're all fractals of God. So when we go inside, we're communing with God and we're making alignment with ourselves and God. So, and it's all about love and light with her. So, and she wants you to, you know, play, love yourself, enjoy life, be abundant. So find what you love and you like and follow that passion.
Amen. That was the moral. That was the moral of the story. And I really love the scientific, reservation that Heather's always had. She's always like, well, I don't know what I believe and I don't know what's real. And that's a really beautiful way to approach your spiritual journey, y'all. And what I keep telling her is it doesn't fucking matter. Like what you experience is what's real. Like it doesn't matter what, like, objective. The whole game is subjective. Time and space are both subjective. So what the fuck do you think is not subjective? Everything inside of time and space is obviously going to be subjective. So it's about your relationship to this game. It's not about what the game means outside of you. It's about your relationship to this game. How do you relate to it? And what I feel in all of these shares and all of your discoveries and all of the things you've shared and channeled so far, what I feel is a priceless relationship, y'all. That's really what we're talking about here. And that invitation is there for each of you every single day. And don't believe there's any level of it that you need to achieve for anybody else to win an award or to get a grade. It's you, and you get to experience as much of it as you want to at any given point. And just accept that. This is how much truth, this is how much joy, this is how much passion I'm willing to experience right now. This is how much freedom I'm willing to experience right now. And just accept it, y'all. Just accept it. This is what I'm comfortable with right now. Okay. And we have less time than I thought than we would, but I wouldn't have changed any moment of tonight to get into our readings and our exercises. We're going to focus on our readings first, and then if we have time for exercises, we'll do them, and if not, we'll deal with them next week. But everything that I'm going to read right now is just corroborating what's happening for each of you at whatever level that you're comfortable accepting right now. And just know that you can accept a deeper level at whatever moment you choose. You can choose to give your inner world more time, more energy every week. You can choose to trust your higher self. You can choose to trust your guides. You can choose to trust your council. You can build a new fucking council tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like this, the possibilities are endless for you all. And please don't believe otherwise. The possibilities are endless for you all. All right, so we're going to jump into the concept guide tonight, and we're going to be dealing with the concept of magic and the concept of the magical personality. Seth talks a lot. I think there's a whole Seth book on the magical personality. And I want y'all to understand this is the nature of what you're learning. It's the nature of what the law of attraction is the nature of magic. The idea that consciousness creates reality. Okay. And your thoughts determine your experience, y'all. And you're all doing it for yourselves every day, every week. And I just want you to imagine doing it better and better. I want you to imagine relating to yourself better and better. I want you to imagine, someone mentioned, Heather's share as a dance. That's really what relationships are, y'all. It's a dance. And I just want you to imagine dancing better and better with yourself, bringing more meaningful questions, bringing a deeper willingness to listen, bringing a deeper willingness to share, a deeper willingness to share the truth that is coming through you, because maybe it's about more than just you. Okay. Maybe the universe is about more than just you. You know what I'm saying? So trust this. And so close your eyes, listen. You can take notes if you need to. But this is from the concept guide on Ra, and we're on page, I don't know, there's not a page number. Hold on. Where are the page numbers? We're on page 183. Magic. All right, y'all. This is it. This is what we're here for. This is what each of you are doing in your own capacity. Ra defined magical ability as the ability to use the so-called unconscious. They found Don's definition of magic acceptable. The ability to create changes in consciousness at will. The ability to create changes in consciousness at will. Magic is the work of the adept. An adept is someone who does work, who practices something. It is a sacramental connection undertaken at the level of the gateway, your crown, or indigo ray, which is fed by the by the disciplines of the personality. We talked about the disciplines of the personality a couple of weeks ago. Through magic, actions may be accomplished in the material realm, which may be considered miraculous because they exceed the known limitations of the illusion. I'm going to say that again. Through magic, actions may be accomplished in the material realm, which may be considered miraculous because they exceed the known limitations of the illusion. If any of you have never heard of the Course in Miracles, they describe miracles as the natural experience of a connected soul, but they're seen as miracles because they're seen by people who are not connected. Miracles are a natural experience of reality, a natural experience of consciousness. Consciousness itself is the primary tool and means of magic, though it is typically facilitated through careful preparation and ritual. Those workings which carry a magical charge are working with metaphysical power. The heart of white magic, the positive use of magic, is an experience of the joy of union with the Creator that joins body, mind, and spirit with the one infinite Creator and radiates throughout the life experience. Now, this is Ra speaking. There is no magic greater than honest distortion towards love. The principle behind any ritual of the white magical nature is to so configure the stimuli which reach down into the trunk of mind, the subconscious, that this arrangement causes the generation of disciplined and purified emotion or love, which then may be both protection and the key to the gateway to intelligent infinity. I'm going to repeat that again. The principle behind any ritual of the white magical nature is to so configure the stimuli which reach down into the trunk of mind that this arrangement causes the generation of disciplined and purified emotion or love, which then may be both protection and the key to the gateway to intelligent infinity. Dear Lord, thank you. All right. The next section is the magical personality. So we just discussed magic. What is magic? It's consciousness affecting itself instantaneously. That's what magic is, y'all. Consciousness affecting itself instantaneously. Now we're going to talk about the magical personality. Every one of us that's here is here for the higher self. This is an extrapolation of my one-on-one coaching course called Channeling Higher Self. This is what you are all learning to do, is channel your higher self. So let's talk about what the higher self actually is. When the higher self is properly and efficaciously invoked, we talked about invocation last week, incantation. When it's efficaciously invoked for the purpose of a working, it is called the magical personality. Upon this invocation, a bridge is made between space-time and time-space. Consequently, the higher self experiences directly the third density catalyst for the duration of the working. And the third density self takes upon itself something of a vestment, a consciousness that bestows magical perception and power. Desire, will, and polarity are keys in working with the magical personality. Desire, what do you want? Will, what are you willing to do for it? And polarity, the ups and downs of the journey. Desire, will, and polarity are keys in working with the magical personality. In developing the self toward the use of the magical personality, the seeker is counseled to pay attention to the qualities of power, love, and wisdom, so that the seeker, balanced in the center of love and wisdom, seeks power in order to serve others. If you are of the light, you seek power in order to serve others. In the course of a magical working, the first invocation is that of the magical personality. This is drawn through the gateway, the crown, from the violet energy center. Great emphasis is placed on the proper releasing of the magical personality at the conclusion of all workings. What does that mean? That means put your toys away when you're done. That means close up shop. That means I taught y'all to go to a sacred space to protect yourself, and I taught you to come back. I didn't tell you to leave the door open. I didn't tell you to go and talk to, larger parts of the universe from like your ego. Like I taught you a specific process, and this is saying that process is important. Close your doors. Why? Because if you don't, you're going to bring shit back you didn't mean to. And if you let your higher self into this dimension, your higher self is going to do shit that you don't want it to do because it has a different agenda than you do. You understand? So I've taught you to open the doors, and I've taught you to close the fucking doors also. And this is Ra telling you that it's important to close the doors when you're done doing magic. Shut your shit down. Open your doors consciously and close your doors consciously. When you're advanced enough, you can choose to leave your doors open because you know there aren't any boundaries. And so you're not afraid of your higher self wreaking havoc upon your third dimensional life. But you're probably not there yet, y'all. So close the doors. When you're ready to leave them open, you'll know. And then everything you think of as reality will quickly dissolve. Because there are no boundaries. And it's all the same fucking shit. But as long as you want to maintain third dimension, as long as you want to maintain your identity, as long as you want to maintain an individual life, close the doors of your magic. Thank you. Author's note: being the higher self. While the magical personality is activated, it gives one the ability to perform, as the name suggests, magical working, to work directly with intelligent energy through consciousness alone, though accompanied by ritual and incantation. Thank you. It may be likened to donning a judge's robe. While wearing the robe, the self is operating according to higher standards and responsibilities, exercising powers that exist only while wearing the robe. In order to return to the normal life, the self must relinquish the robe. I'm going to repeat that. In order to return to normal life, the self must relinquish the robe, and with it the powers he or she was able to exercise while wearing the vestment. During the limited duration of the working, the incarnate self is, while within third density, gaining a modicum of the higher self's capacity. Dear Lord, thank you, Jesus. Take a second to notice anything you felt, anything you thought, anything you saw. And I want to know if anyone has a question about magic or your magical personality. Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Yes, ma'am, Bridget.
Okay, so I'm not so sure. I've been closing my door. So can you go over how we close our door again? Because I'm like,
Do you remember how you open your door?
well, yeah, with the shamanic sounds, the ohms, the light language, and then inviting them in. And the light, yes.
The key that I've taught all of you is to go up, to inhale up out of your body. That's the key to this process, is to inhale up out of your body, right? To go to your sacred space, because your sacred space is where you can safely interface with anything in the universe. And so how do you close the door?
Go back to your body.
You come back down. You come back down, and every time I've taken you there, I've brought you back down. I've brought you back down. And many students have not closed the doors, y'all. And what happens is if you don't close the doors, you get what Kristen was asking about, which is what you call ascension syndrome, or you get Kundalini syndrome, or you get magic coming into your everyday life, which sounds great, but what it looks like is chaos. What it looks like is things you can't handle. What it looks like is your boundaries getting pushed. Okay? So closing that door is very important, and every tool y'all need to do this safely is in this course, but it's been over weeks and months of time. And this is why I've been trying to tell y'all we have to figure out how to reduce this to really simple steps, because none of y'all can keep up with 24, 27, 28 hours of content. So we have to be really specific, because all the parameters you need to do this safely are in this course. It's there, it's already in there. We just have to break it down and know what they are and remind ourselves and each other what those, like, focus ritual. Are you doing your fucking practice every day? And if not, that's okay, but you're not connecting. You're not relating to yourself the way you can be. Are you visualizing that process? Are you connecting to your Wi-Fi so that you're safe when you're going outside of your body? Okay. This is something that came up in the live stream this week, and it was really amusing. We started talking about astral travel, and I was like, half the channel panel was there, and I was like, do y'all understand y'all are learning astral travel? And every single one of y'all that was there was like, no. You're like, what? No, what's that? Astral travel is going out of your body. It's visualizing other places, other dimensions, and that's all it takes is your imagination. And the moment you start thinking about it, you're literally going into other dimensions. So you're all already learning astral travel. Okay. And we set you up. Astral travel is the beginning of the process that we've taught to connect to your guides, to connect to your council. Okay. So, and I didn't talk about magic, you know, but y'all been learning magic. And if you've been saying incantations and speaking shit out loud, you've been practicing magic. But I didn't talk to you about that word because it's not necessary for you to make these kind of connections. And it's really just all about the relationship to your own self, y'all. That's really all it is. That's all we're doing here. That's the invitation. And whatever level you're able to do it, accept it. And know that you'll do it better in the future, and you'll do it worse in the future. Like, it's always coming and going. We're always remembering who we are, and then we're forgetting. And then we're remembering, and then we're forgetting. And that is a never ending experience of consciousness itself. So don't judge yourself for it. Okay. Thank you for the question, Bridget. Did anybody else? Kristen, yes, ma'am.
So I don't always go to a sacred space. Even when you cue us, tell us to go there, I don't always see that. A lot of times it's a black void. The places where we went to in the very, very beginning of the inception of this, I have not been there again. So my question is, what other pathways are there to still cultivate the safety when we're playing in the multiverse?
Great, great question. You can invent any safety mechanism that you want to. Mine works. I've been using it for years. You know it works. You know how to do it. You can choose to use it if you want to. If you choose not to use it, then you have to invent your own, or you will be exposed in the same way you would be exposed if you went into a city park in the middle of the night. Maybe you have an incredible time. Maybe you meet a creeper. You know what I mean? If you're going into astral realms and you are not consciously protecting yourself, you have no idea what you're opening yourself up to. That's why I teach you a specific process. That process will protect you. If you don't use that process because of your own free will, then who knows what you're going to experience. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of lessons to learn in city parks. Okay. You can create your own process for safety, for connecting to whatever you want to envision, but you have to do that consciously. You have to say, I want to protect myself. Otherwise, you are letting yourself be open to anything that can see whatever you're doing, and things you can't imagine can see what you're doing, because that's the way the spirit world works, y'all. Privacy doesn't exist in the energetic realm. Privacy doesn't exist in the astral realm. That's not something you can expect there. So whatever you're doing, other beings can see you. And so I suggest you protecting yourself consciously. And you can do that with the process that I've taught you, or you can invent your own. But if you don't, be aware that you might catch something. I call them STDs, spiritually transmitted diseases. You might catch something. You might tap into something you don't expect. You don't need to be worried about that. You're not going to lose your soul. You're not going to end up in hell, but you might end up with some itching. You understand? You might end up with some spiritual itching. So be conscious of this process, and I'm giving you all of the information that I know how to give, and it's your choice whether you activate it or not. And I wish you the best of luck either way. Did that answer your question, Kristen?
Well, I just want to be very clear on this, that I am working with your process and not being defiant and saying I don't want to do your way. It's just I don't always visualize or go to the places where you tell us to go. So I just want to, and I know I'm not the only one who experiences that. So I just want to know what other ways can I protect myself while going to these places, because I don't always see my sacred space. And that's all. I wasn't.
I love it. No,
I'm
that's
not
perfect. That's
I'm not
perfect. I love
trying to
it.
get an STD, just to be clear. It's just my pathway is just different than yours. And I just wonder what other options do I have?
Yeah. So I love that, and thank you. And I'm a rebel too, and I always need to do things my way. I'm hard-headed fucking too, okay? And I want you to understand that what you're asking me is, you've taught me one way and it works, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to listen, and I'm asking you for other ways that you can teach me that work, but I won't listen to that either. And I will, you're asking me for other ways of doing things. You want your own way, okay? And there's a million ways of doing it, and I can give you other ideas of doing it, but you're looking for your own way, so create your own way. You understand? And I can give you a million different ideas of how to do it, but you're going to do your own thing because that's who you are. And I'm the same way. I have to do my own thing. There's only so many instructions I can follow for anything, whether I buy something from IKEA or I pay $10,000 for a coach. There's only so much of listening to what someone else says that I can do. So I understand that, honey. I understand that. But you have to take responsibility for yourself in that and protect yourself. You can't not take guidance and then ask for more guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any other ways to offer you of protecting yourself, because this is the one I've been using for over 4 or 5 years now, and it works. And it works. There's a million other ways to do it, but I don't have another way to offer you offhand. Does that make sense? You will figure it out, and then you can share it with us when you find it, and then other people will benefit from that, because not everybody is going to be able to use my approach or my technique the same way I couldn't use all of my teachers' techniques. Thank you. Marvelous. I think it was first, and Bridget will be next.
It's so beautiful to know how unique we each are. It's so beautiful to know the path that you're here to carve. It is enlightening to find your way, and it is a prayer to be said. For me, when I'm traveling, when I am walking to my sacred space, I get to there in different ways. I don't always use your way, because I'm getting there before we even had this. So it kind of feels familiar for me. I use yours when we're, we're together and you guide us, right? So I kind of follow that. But when I'm on my own, I pray. I pray, because the highest state for me is prayer. When I pray and I become, I get myself centered, I create a space where I am still. And then from that space, I show reverence to myself, and then I pray. And then I actually had one of the prayers I wrote initially, and this is something I wrote before. It says, I now recognize the unlimited potential here and now. I proclaim this space astral, mental, vorticic, physical, be guided in light and eternal wisdom, clarity, and intuitive guidance. And then may the path of light guide and protect me. May the path of light guide and protect us. And then I create a golden bubble around me and everyone. And when I walk back to my sacred house. And then when I leave, I show gratitude. And then I leave and I close the door behind me. That's my process.
I love that. Thank you, Marvelous. And it makes sense because you've been doing this work for a long time. It makes sense that you already had your process. And maybe that process will help you some, Kristen. And anybody else that has a process to protect themselves, please feel free to share. And this, like, there's a million ways to reach any given any given conclusion, y'all, like, for real. Totally. Thank you for that, Marvelous. Bridget.
So, Kristen, I have a question. When did your space start going dark? I know you're reading the Sophia Code, and so I have always been in the dark. So I started calling my darkness Sophia's womb, because I've always been there. I've never been in a room or anything. So that's what I just started calling it. So I was just wondering when it started to go.
It's always been dark.
It's always been dark.
I don't always follow a true visualization. Like if someone tells me to visualize this, let me be clear. I, Kristen, am not being defiant in this process. I'm just allowing whatever to come up. So I'm not saying, no, I don't want to do this. Let me just be very clear with that. Just oftentimes when we say, go to your sacred space, what new things do you have? I don't get that. I'll just be like floating around in space.
I'm the same.
It's my process and I've accepted that. But again, that's just how it is for me. This isn't defiance. This isn't me being a rebel. This is just how my energy presents. And I've shamed myself. I have guilted myself for it, thinking that I'm not doing it right. I'm not good enough. And it's taken me a long time to just accept this is how I work. And it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's just different.
Thank you, dear. And nobody said anything about wrong or bad. Nobody.
And I'm in the dark with you.
And what I'm talking about, this process, yeah, we talk about it in terms of visualization, but the visualization is a very small part of it. It's the intention. It's the intention to focus your energy. It's the intention to take your energy out of your body. It's your intention to go to a place that is very familiar and very safe for you. It's the intention to connect with your spirits and your guides. That's what's important here. That's what I'm talking about. Whatever you see is whatever you see, and whatever you don't see is whatever you don't see. What I'm talking about is intention. What I'm talking about is intention. And you have intention. And you can utilize it. And if you utilize your intention, you will be protected when you leave your body. And if you don't, you won't. And it's okay if you're not. We all bump into things how we bump into them. It's okay. It's okay. And you know I love you, and you know we love you, and you can do this at whatever level that you need to. You can do this at whatever level that you need to. It's your being. It's your spirits, it's your guides, it's your higher self, and it's okay. It's okay. We love you. All right. It's after 10. Anybody that needs to go, you're welcome to go. I want to do the homework because I didn't I kept deciding to, but I kept not doing it. It's because I wanted to do it live for you guys. So anybody that can hang out with us, and I'm gonna do the homework now. And this is the invitation, the process. This is literally the relationship that created everything that I offer now and created this course, this space for you all. And I'll try to keep it short. Typically, my sessions with the council is 10-15 minutes or so. I'll try to keep it short, but I could feel what wanted to come through in the questions, and I could feel what wanted to come through in the answers. And I felt like doing it live would be the best way to share it. Anybody that did not do the homework this week that would like to do it live, you're welcome to do that with us, next week. Or you can just, record it and transcribe it and share it. That being said, I'm going to drop in real quick. This is me doing our homework, which is to have a conversation with your higher self. Thank you all for hanging out. Sorry to keep you up late, but everything that happened tonight needed to happen. All right, here we go. What is the purpose for the Council of One channeling group? The purpose of the Council of One channeling group is an invitation for each one to step over the boundary they have created between themselves and all that is. The invitation is to own the power and the substance of each and every thought, and to witness the results of those thoughts honestly and openly. The invitation is to build a relationship closer and more integral than the relationship you had with your mother. The invitation is to build a relationship that will help you create new worlds and new universes beyond that which you can imagine. Your higher self, your larger self, has the ability to create these worlds, but it needs your limited perspective to know what kind of world to create. It needs your pain. It needs your fear. It needs your desire to know how to form a new and more rewarding experience. Can you imagine your source needing your pain in order to expand? Can you imagine your creator needing your separation, needing your stubbornness, needing your confusion in order to create a more beautiful painting? This is the nature of the experience you find yourself inside of. This is the nature of the invitation of this group, is to remember this truth of yourself and the universe at large. This is a co-creation in every way, in every capacity. And your deepest, darkest pains, your deepest, darkest fears feed the expansion of that truth in ways more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Your only challenge is to deepen this relationship, deepen this conversation, deepen your ability to listen to and express your truth back to this unified source of all that is. And how can we most efficiently play this game? Consciously choose to play this game of relationship in each and every moment, in each and every day. Consciously choose to sculpt, to design your focus, your attention onto anything that feels important, and simply watch what happens. Consciously commit to any path and notice where you end up. Every time you make a decision, you will feel a specific response, a specific result. These decisions consciously made will continually lead you to higher and higher states of being, to better and better emotional realities. How can we as a club or collective explain what we're doing to others in a way they might want to take part in. This chosen hobby or vocation is not a common decision in your time space. So there is a limit to how many will inherently have interest. But as in all metaphysical endeavors, the best way to find co-creative companions is by sharing the truth of your own heart and soul. By sharing the truth of your own excitement, your own joy, your own passion, you often spark the interest, the joy, and the passion of others. Finally, how important is this concept of recording and transcribing the relationship we are building with our guides and our higher selves? Your willingness to record and transcribe your inner relationship to your own self is priceless in nature, not only for you and this journey, but for countless other young souls searching for their own inner connection, for their own inner passion, for their own inner purpose. Your willingness to record and or transcribe and or share these relationships will not only prime others' minds that these relationships are possible, but it shall influence and pull them towards these kinds of relationships with themselves. This mission of helping consciousness remember that it is all that is a very beautiful and very sacred and very ancient path. But do not for a second believe this path is necessary. For in truth, there is nowhere else to go. In truth, each particle, each pixel of consciousness has nowhere else to go but back to itself, which it will eventually find with or without anyone else's help. That being said, the joy and the beauty of helping consciousness remember it is one with all is priceless. The beauty of this passion, of this hobby, is priceless. But do not believe that this service is necessary to earn your place. Do not believe that a certain skill set is necessary to earn your place. Do not believe that a certain level of realization is necessary to earn your place. You are who you are, despite of what you believe. You are what you are, despite of what you've experienced. And you will be who you will be, despite of anything you are afraid of. Woo! And I'm back. Good Lord. Hello. Good Lord. That was a good assignment, y'all. that was a good assignment. That was a good assignment. And I look forward to hearing anybody else's that did not finish transcribing. If anybody, yes, ma'am. If anybody has thoughts, questions, drop them for me now. If you need to drop off, that's cool. Did you have a question, Coretta? No, you're good. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions?
I was just saying I'm gonna do my homework. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, thank you, dear. I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait.
do it.
I
Yeah, I'm gonna
can't
do it.
wait. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions? Everybody good?
Yeah, that was a good example. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the conversation just flowed. It's just, yeah.
It's the key that makes this work. Is like it's great to tap in for a pep talk. It's great, like I've given you guys a couple of other assignments. The conversation is what makes this work long term. That's how you build a relationship, y'all, is understanding that it's a give and a take. And if I hadn't been doing this assignment, I would have stopped at the first part of that share because it was packed with shit and it was awesome. But because I was doing this assignment, I was like, no, dig deeper. And so I asked another question. And that share was fucking awesome. And then because I was doing the assignment, I asked another question and we dug even deeper. Okay. And so this is the invitation of these steps and these layers. And it's you, but you got to dig. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to like dig. You got to come up with questions. You got to ask, and don't just be like accepting of like whatever is. Like look even further, and the game just keeps deepening more and more. And I cannot express the beauty of it. I wish I could put it into words briefly. I'm so honored to see how it's coming through all of you. Any way that I'm triggering anybody's shit, sorry, it's just who I am. I've been doing that my whole fucking life. The invitation is the invitation. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let my ego stop you from what you came here to do. Um, and keep going and do the work, y'all. This is amazing. And last week was incredible in ways I'm still trying to put my head around. And we're gonna do some more of that. If you weren't here last week, I was really like leading the choir. I was really conducting the choir, and you guys played along and allowed it to happen, and it was amazing. And we're going to keep this process going, but don't believe that the purpose of this group is for anything we do here on these calls. These calls are to inspire you to transform your relationship to yourself and the larger game, and that's going to create everything for you in your life. Like, it's beyond measure, and I'm super honored to be a part of it. And thank each of you for playing. And I love you, rebels, because I'm a rebel too. and just keep doing you, y'all. Just keep doing you. I love you, and keep sharing stuff, and I'm gonna keep reflecting it back to you in the best that I can. And just know we're all love and we're all doing it the best we can. All right. I love y'all.
Bye.
Blessed day. Brilliant.